Ethan adjusted the controls of his small scout ship, the Aurora, as it drifted through the dark stretch of space. The stars sparkled like scattered diamonds, but his eyes were fixed on the sensor readings flickering on the dashboard. He was alone, as usual, and he liked it that way. Being a bachelor had its perks: freedom, independence, no responsibilities. Yet, something about this mission felt different. He had been sent to explore an uncharted sector near the edge of the Voron cluster, a dangerous area filled with asteroids and volatile gas clouds. Normally, scouting missions were routine, but today, the sensors picked up an unusual signal, a small spacecraft drifting in the void. Curiosity prickled at Ethan's mind. He knew it was dangerous. There was no way of knowing who or what was aboard. But leaving a ship and its occupant to drift into nothingness went against everything he believed in. He altered course and approached the strange vessel cautiously. The ship was unlike anything he had ever seen. Its hull shimmered with a faint blue glow, and intricate symbols were etched across its surface. It looked both alien and battle-scarred. As he drew closer, he noticed that one of the ship's panels had been torn open, smoke trailing from the damage. Something or someone inside needed help. Ethan docked the Aurora carefully, his heart thumping in anticipation. As the airlock hissed open, he grabbed his toolkit and cautiously stepped inside. The interior was dim, lit by emergency lights. Debris floated in zero gravity, and he could hear the faint hum of damaged systems. And then he saw her. Kailara. She was lying on the floor, her body tense and ready, even in injury. Her skin was a pale shade of violet, her eyes glowing faintly with an otherworldly light. She wore battle armor that seemed almost alive, shifting slightly as if responding to her movements. In her hand was a sleek plasma blade pointed directly at Ethan the moment she saw him. "Stay back." Her voice rang out, low and melodic, but with the sharp edge of command. "Do not come closer, human." Ethan froze, holding his hands up. "I'm not here to fight," he said carefully. "I'm just here to help." Her eyes narrowed, studying him intensely. For a moment there was silence, broken only by the crackle of damaged circuits. Then she spoke again. "Help?" she repeated, disbelief in her tone. "Do you even know what you are saying?" "I am Kailara of the Zoran warriors. I do not require assistance from a weak creature like you." Ethan swallowed, unsure whether to be insulted or amused. "Maybe," he said cautiously, "but you're bleeding and your ship is falling apart. I think you might need it anyway." Kailara's grip on her blade tightened, but she didn't attack. Ethan took a careful step forward, examining the cuts and bruises on her arm. His hands moved quickly, pulling out medkits and tools from his pack. "I know how to patch this up," he said, his voice steady. "I'm good with hands, and I can fix ships too. I just need you to trust me for a few minutes." She watched him, suspicion radiating from every line of her body. But her injury slowed her movements, and she realized she had little choice. Slowly, she lowered her blade, though she kept it within reach. Ethan worked quickly, cleaning her wounds and applying bandages. Kailara remained tense, observing every movement. His hands were human, unarmed yet steady. The alien warrior couldn't help but notice his courage, his calmness, and the lack of fear in his eyes. "You are brave," she said quietly, almost to herself. "Humans are not supposed to be like this." Ethan smiled faintly. "I don't know about that. I just know that if someone needs help, I help. Simple as that." Before they could speak more, alarms blared. The sensor panel lit up with a red warning. "Incoming vessel detected." Ethan glanced at the screen. "We've got company," he said. "Looks like trouble." Kailara's eyes narrowed, her warrior instincts kicking in. "They are Vorak raiders," she said sharply. "They will destroy us. Prepare yourself, human." Ethan felt a thrill of fear, but he didn't show it. "Then let's make sure they don't," he said. The battle was fast and chaotic. Kailara's ship was damaged and unstable, but Ethan used every trick he knew. He maneuvered through the asteroid field, dodging plasma blasts and using debris as cover. Kailara directed the ship's defensive systems with precision, her movements a blur of experience and skill. At one point, a massive raider ship rammed into Kailara's hull, sending alarms blaring. Ethan's mind raced. He activated a thruster override, steering the ship through a narrow gap in the asteroids. The raiders couldn't follow. Kailara blinked in surprise. "You are clever," she admitted grudgingly. They fought their way out of the danger, the raiders retreating finally. Both were breathing heavily, the tension lingering. Kaylara looked at Ethan differently now, no longer just a human but a resourceful and brave companion. "You saved my ship," she said quietly, almost in disbelief. Why would you do this?" Ethan shrugged, a small smile on his face. "Because I don't leave people behind. Doesn't matter what species they are." For a moment, Kaylara said nothing. Then she looked down, her pride warring with something new. Respect. "You are strange, human. I do not know if I can trust you fully, but I owe you my life. For now, that is enough." Ethan nodded, feeling a strange sense of connection. He didn't know what the future held, but he knew one thing. This encounter was far from ordinary. Something had changed. The universe suddenly felt larger, more dangerous, but also more exciting. "Can you fly your ship?" Kaylara asked finally, her tone cautious. "I can try," Ethan said. "And if it doesn't work, we'll figure something else out. Together." Kaylara blinked at him, then slowly deactivated her defensive systems. For the first time, she let herself rely on a human. She didn't fully understand why she trusted him, but her instincts told her that his courage, his intelligence, and his unwavering calm were unlike anything she had seen before. Ethan began inspecting the damage to her ship. Sparks flew from exposed circuits and warning lights blinked frantically. "It's going to be tricky, but I think we can get her to Zoran Prime," he said. "We'll need to navigate carefully, but I've done worse." Kaylara studied him, her glowing eyes reflecting the dim light. "Zoran Prime. That is my homeworld," she said softly. You would go there with me?" "I think we should," Ethan replied. "Better to be safe at home than floating here waiting for another attack." The silence that followed was comfortable, a rare pause in the chaos of space. Ethan realized that he had never met anyone like Kaylara. She was strong, proud, and undeniably dangerous, but also vulnerable. And that vulnerability combined with her strength made her fascinating. Kaylara's mind raced with conflicting thoughts. She had always been self-reliant, never needing anyone. Yet this human had risked his life for her, and his actions spoke of qualities she could not ignore: courage, ingenuity, and an unshakable calm. Humans were fragile, yes, but also unpredictable. Maybe unpredictability was a strength. "Very well, human," she said finally, her voice carrying authority. "We go to Zoran Prime, but know this, you are not my equal yet. You will learn our ways, or you will not survive." Ethan chuckled softly, feeling a thrill run through him. "I wouldn't have it any other way," he said. As they prepared for departure, Ethan couldn't help but glance at Kaylara. The stars outside seemed brighter now, more alive. He didn't know what awaited them on Zoran Prime, or how a simple act of helping an injured alien warrior would change his life forever. But one thing was certain: his days of being just a bachelor, drifting through space alone, were over. The Aurora lifted off, carrying both human and alien into the unknown, bound together by courage, trust, and an adventure neither of them could have predicted. And somewhere deep inside, Kaylara wondered, could this human be more than just a companion? Ethan's eyes widened as the shuttle exited the asteroid field and entered orbit around Zoran Prime. The planet below was breathtaking. Towering crystal cities shimmered in the sunlight, their spires reaching high into the sky. Rivers of liquid light flowed through vast valleys, and forests glowed faintly with bioluminescent flora. Despite its beauty, there was a harshness to the land. Jagged mountains and deep chasms reminded him that this world was not made for the faint-hearted. Kaylara guided the shuttle with ease, her hands moving over the controls with practiced precision. "We will land in the city of Venar, my clan's stronghold," she explained. "It is safe there." "For now." Ethan nodded, trying to take it all in. "It's incredible," he said. "I've never seen anything like it. How did your people build all this?" Kaylara glanced at him, a small smirk forming. "Through discipline, skill, and strength. Our technology is advanced, yes, but it is nothing without the warriors who protect it. And we are warriors first, engineers second." As the shuttle descended, Ethan noticed clusters of Zoran warriors patrolling the streets below. They were tall, muscular, and clad in armor that shimmered in the sunlight. Their eyes glowed faintly like Kaylara's, and their movements were precise, almost predatory. Humans, he realized, would look fragile in comparison. The shuttle landed smoothly on a crystalline platform. Kaylara led Ethan out, and immediately a group of warriors approached. Their expressions were wary, almost hostile. "Who is this human?" one demanded. His voice was sharp, carrying authority. "Why is he here?" Kaylara straightened, her presence commanding. "This is Ethan. He saved my life." "He comes with me." The warriors exchanged skeptical glances. "A human? You expect us to believe he is worthy of standing here with you?" another asked. Ethan took a deep breath, feeling a mixture of excitement and fear. He knew he had to make a good impression, but he had no idea what would earn the respect of these alien warriors. Kalara's voice cut through the tension. "He is not here to fight against us. He is here because I chose him. And that is all you need to know." The warriors hesitated. In Zoran culture, the word of a warrior carried weight, but humans were unknown to them. Many whispered to each other, questioning Kalara's judgment. Ethan felt their scrutiny, but he did not flinch. He held his head high, showing the confidence he had learned in countless solo missions. One of the elder warriors stepped forward, his armor marked with symbols of rank and honor. "If this human is to remain among us, he must prove his worth," the elder said. "He must survive the trial of courage." Ethan blinked. "Trial of courage?" Kalara nodded. "It is a test every warrior must face. You will be challenged by the planet, by predators, and by traps left by our ancestors. Only those who survive are accepted fully." Ethan swallowed hard. "So, I need to survive to earn your people's respect?" Kalara's eyes softened slightly. "Yes, you do not have the strength of my people. Not yet, but humans have other qualities. Perhaps your mind, your ingenuity, will see you through." The thought of facing an alien trial was intimidating, but Ethan felt a spark of excitement. He had always relied on his resourcefulness, his ability to think quickly under pressure. Perhaps this would be the ultimate test. The next morning, Kalara and Ethan set out for the trial grounds, a vast expanse of dangerous terrain filled with forests, cliffs, and ancient ruins. Other warriors had already begun their trials, moving through the terrain with skill and precision. Kalara explained the rules. "You must navigate to the heart of the ruins. Along the way, you will face obstacles, natural predators, environmental hazards, and traps. You may not call for help. Survival is your only measure." Ethan nodded, feeling his heartbeat quicken. "Sounds challenging. But I'm ready." Kalara studied him for a moment, her violet eyes narrowing. "You may not be ready, but we will see." The first challenge appeared sooner than expected. A massive chasm split the path ahead, too wide to jump across. Ethan looked around, trying to find a solution. He noticed vines hanging from the cliffs and a fallen tree nearby. Using the tree as a bridge and securing it with vines, he carefully crossed the gap. Kalara followed, her eyes watching him closely. "You are clever," she said softly. "Humans think differently. That may be your strength." Further along, a pack of krill beasts emerged from the forest. Their scales glimmered, their claws sharp as knives, and they moved with frightening speed. The warriors around Ethan engaged them with brute strength, but he hesitated for a moment, then used a combination of clever distractions, throwing rocks, using fallen branches, and leading the beasts into a trap he noticed from the terrain. Kalara raised an eyebrow in surprise. "You use your mind, not just your body," she observed. "This is unusual, but effective." Hours passed, and the challenges became more dangerous. Ethan crossed treacherous rivers, scaled sheer cliffs, and navigated ancient ruins filled with traps. At one point, a rock slide threatened to bury him, but his quick thinking and balance allowed him to survive. Kalara watched, increasingly impressed. By sunset, they reached the heart of the ruins. A colossal alien creature blocked the path, a guardian left by the ancient Zoran. Its multiple eyes glowed, and its massive tentacles lashed the ground, creating tremors. Ethan felt a flicker of fear, but remembered Kalara's words. His mind was his greatest weapon. He studied the creature, noticing patterns in its movements. Using light reflections from the crystals around, he distracted it while Kalara prepared to strike. Together they outsmarted the guardian, using both strength and ingenuity to reach the other side safely. Kalara's expression was unreadable, but Ethan sensed her approval. "You have survived," she said finally. "Few humans could. You have potential, Ethan." He smiled, exhausted but proud. "Thanks, I guess teamwork works well." She nodded. "Yes, perhaps there is more to humans than I believed. You are different, and that difference may be valuable." The two returned to Vanar, greeted by the clan warriors. Whispers spread among them, and many were astonished that a human had survived what even some Zoran could not. Ethan felt a sense of pride, but he also realized how far he still had to go. Kalara led him to her private quarters, A room filled with artifacts of her people, training equipment, and holographic records of warriors past. "You have done well today," she said. "But this is only the beginning. If you are to remain by my side, you must continue to learn, to grow." Ethan looked around, absorbing the alien culture and the significance of the trial. "I want to learn," he said sincerely. "I want to understand your people, and I want to be worthy of standing beside you." Kalara studied him, a rare softness in her gaze. "You speak honestly. That is rare. Humans often act without understanding. Perhaps there is hope for you yet." That night, as they watched the twin moons rise over the crystalline city, Ethan reflected on how drastically his life had changed in just a few days. He had gone from a solo bachelor drifting through space to someone now bound to a fierce alien warrior, navigating an entirely new world. Kalara remained silent, her gaze fixed on the horizon. She was proud of her achievements, her strength, and her people's legacy, but she could not ignore the strange pull she felt toward this human. He was nothing like she expected, yet somehow, he fit into her world in a way that was impossible to describe. For Ethan, sleep was impossible. His mind raced with thoughts of what tomorrow would bring. More trials, more lessons, and the challenge of earning the respect of Kalara's people fully. Yet beneath the fear and uncertainty, he felt excitement. For the first time, he was part of something greater, something that could change the course of his life forever. And as he drifted into a restless sleep, Ethan knew one undeniable truth. His days of drifting alone through space were over. He was now a part of something bigger, something dangerous, and something extraordinary. Ethan woke to the soft hum of Zoran Prime's twin suns warming the crystal city. Today was different. Today he would face the trial of honor, a test even more difficult than the trial of courage. While survival tested one's mind and agility, this trial challenged character, judgment, and leadership under pressure. Kalara had explained that every warrior, human or Zoran, must pass it to earn full recognition among her people. Kalara entered his quarters, her armor reflecting sunlight in dazzling patterns. "You are ready?" she asked, her violet eyes scanning his face. Ethan nodded, tying the straps of his improvised armor. "As ready as I'll ever be." "What exactly will I face?" Kalara's lips curved slightly. "The trial is not one obstacle, it is many. You will navigate through dangerous terrain, solve problems, and face challenges designed to reveal your true nature. You must act not only for yourself, but for those you lead." Ethan's heart raced. Leading him? He had never commanded anyone before. But he felt a strange determination. If this was part of becoming Kalara's equal, he would rise to it. The trial began at the outskirts of the glowing forest, a dense expanse filled with enormous bioluminescent trees and thick fog. The air shimmered with spores that danced like fireflies, and strange creatures scuttled among the roots. Kalara accompanied him at first, observing silently as he began navigating the forest paths. Almost immediately, a predator emerged, a sleek, black creature with multiple glowing eyes and sharp claws. It moved silently but with lethal intent. Ethan froze for a moment, then remembered Kalara's earlier advice. Use your mind. Humans think differently. He looked around and noticed the glowing spores above. Timing his movements carefully, he knocked down a cluster, creating a bright, distracting flash. The predator recoiled, momentarily blinded. Ethan slipped past it, keeping calm as his heart pounded. Kalara's eyes widened. She had not expected him to improvise so quickly. "You are clever," she said softly. "This is not instinct. It is thought." Deeper in the forest, the path narrowed and the challenges grew more complex. A river of luminescent liquid blocked their way, its current strong enough to sweep away an adult Zoran warrior. Ethan examined the area and noticed a series of thick vines hanging above the water. He fashioned a rope from nearby vines and swung across, landing safely on the other side. Kalara followed, clearly impressed by his ingenuity. Hours passed, and the trial became more grueling. They entered the ruins of ancients, remnants of Zoran architecture built centuries ago. The ruins were a labyrinth of twisting corridors, shifting floors, and hidden traps. Ethan's human intuition helped him spot dangers before they struck, and Kalara began to recognize a pattern. His brain worked differently from any Zoran warrior she had seen. Where she relied on strength and reflex, he relied on observation and clever solutions. Their next challenge came in the form of the Guardian Stone. a massive construct that required both strength and precise logic to deactivate. The stone's mechanisms were alien, complex, and dangerous. Zoran warriors would typically attack it directly, relying on brute force. Ethan examined the glyphs etched into the stone and realized it was a puzzle. "Watch this," he said, moving carefully, manipulating levers and panels in a sequence he deduced from the symbols. Sparks flew, gears clicked, and the stone finally shifted, revealing a safe passage. Kaylara stepped back, astonished. You solved it with thought," she said, a mixture of admiration and disbelief in her voice. Most Zoran would have failed or been injured trying. Ethan smiled, though he was tired. "Brains and brawn work best together," he said. As they progressed, the final and most dangerous part of the trial awaited. The Gauntlet of Shadows, a canyon filled with hostile creatures, treacherous ledges, and illusions designed to test courage and judgment. Kaylara explained that many warriors failed here, not because they lacked skill, but because they could not remain calm and think clearly under extreme pressure. The canyon walls were jagged, the shadows deep, and strange sounds echoed from every corner. Ethan's senses sharpened. He noticed patterns in the movement of creatures, subtle hints in the terrain, and weak points in the illusions. With Kaylara by his side, they moved cautiously, communicating silently through glances and gestures. At one point, a group of predators blocked their path, their eyes glowing like fire. Ethan quickly scanned the environment and noticed hanging rocks above. Using a small makeshift sling, he triggered a rockfall that created a barrier between them and the predators. Kaylara's expression softened, clearly impressed by his resourcefulness. "You adapt in ways I have never seen," she murmured. The final obstacle was an illusion of Kaylara herself, designed to confuse the participant and test loyalty and judgment. The figure spoke with her voice, asking Ethan to leave the trial, to abandon the path and to seek safety. Ethan hesitated only for a moment, then shook his head firmly. "I do not abandon those who depend on me," he said, even though the illusion was not real. "And I do not abandon my promise to Kaylara." The illusion vanished, leaving him with the real Kaylara standing silently before him. Her eyes glowed brighter than ever, a mix of approval and admiration. "You have completed the trial," she said simply. "Few, human or Zoran, could have succeeded as you have." Ethan's chest swelled with pride, but he also felt a strange humility. He had survived, yes, but it was not just his skills or intelligence that had carried him. It was determination, trust, and the bond he was forming with Kaylara. Returning to Vaynar, the clan warriors greeted them. Whispers spread like wildfire. A human had not only survived the trial of courage, but had completed the trial of honor. Many elders were astonished. Some were skeptical, while others looked at Ethan with newfound respect. Kaylara led him to a ceremonial hall, a grand space adorned with crystal pillars and holographic displays of past warriors. "Today," she announced to the gathered clan, "Ethan has proven himself. He has shown courage, intelligence, and loyalty. He is worthy to stand by my side." The room was silent for a moment, then murmurs of approval rose. Warriors who had doubted him began to nod, some even bowing slightly in respect. Ethan felt a mix of pride and awe. He had never imagined that a human could earn such honor on an alien world. Kaylara approached him afterward, her expression unreadable but her eyes glowing warmly. "You have done well," she said softly. "Not many could achieve what you have today. You are not just my companion. You are now recognized by my people as an equal in spirit and courage." Ethan felt a warmth spread through him. The thought of being truly accepted not just by Kaylara but by her people was overwhelming. He had gone from a lone human pilot to someone recognized as a hero in an alien world, all in a matter of days. That night, Kaylara took Ethan to the top of a crystal tower overlooking the city. The view was breathtaking, the twin suns casting golden light across the spires and forests below. The air was calm, almost serene. "You have changed the way I see humans," Kaylara said quietly, her voice barely above a whisper. "They are stronger than I imagined, not only in body but in mind and heart. You are extraordinary." Ethan smiled, feeling both proud and humbled. "I've only done what I thought was right," he said. "But I'll admit it's easier when I have someone like you watching my back." Kaylara looked at him, her expression softening for the first time. "Perhaps. Humans and Zoran are not so different after all. Strength, loyalty, courage, these are universal. You have them in abundance. As the night deepened, Ethan realized that life on Zoran Prime would not be simple, but it was thrilling. Each challenge, each test had shown him that humans could be extraordinary in ways even alien warriors could respect. For Kalara, watching Ethan grow and succeed stirred something unexpected, a mixture of admiration, trust, and perhaps the first glimmer of affection. She had always been self-reliant, proud, and focused on strength. But this human, he was different. He made her question what she believed about her world, and maybe even herself. Ethan leaned against the crystalline railing, gazing at the city below. The wind carried a soft metallic scent, and the stars above shone brighter than ever. He had no idea what trials lay ahead, but he felt ready. With Kalara by his side, he could face anything, and deep inside he knew one truth. His life had changed forever. The days of drifting alone, of being a simple bachelor, were gone. He had been tested, he had survived, and he had earned a place in a world he once thought impossible to navigate. The sun had barely risen over Zoran Prime when alarms rang through the crystal city of Vanar. Ethan, still adjusting to the rhythm of life on this alien world, felt his heart skip a beat. Kalara rushed to the city's central command tower, her armor gleaming in the early light. "They are here," she said sharply, her violet eyes narrowing. "The Vorak raiders. They have discovered our location." Ethan's mind raced. He had heard of the Vorak before, ruthless raiders who attacked entire star systems for plunder. Even the Zoran, fierce warriors all, spoke of them with caution.
"How many?"
he asked, trying to stay calm. Kalara studied the holographic display. "Too many to fight head-on. Even our best warriors would struggle." Ethan stepped closer, examining the display. His mind immediately started calculating strategies. "Maybe we don't have to fight head-on," he said slowly. "We can use the terrain, the city's layout, and our ships to create traps and misdirection. We can make them think we are weaker than we are." Kalara's brow furrowed. "Humans are unpredictable. Your ideas, they may work, but they may also fail spectacularly." "That's the point," Ethan replied with a small grin. "If they expect us to act like traditional warriors, we'll surprise them." Kalara considered him carefully. His human confidence was unusual, but there was a spark in his eyes she had come to trust. "Very well," she said finally. "We will try your way." The next hours were a flurry of preparation. Ethan worked alongside Kalara and the Zoran engineers, setting up decoys, strategically placing energy barriers, and preparing ambush points throughout the city and surrounding terrain. He moved quickly, his hands steady as he issued instructions. The Zoran warriors watched him closely, skeptical at first, but slowly. They began to follow his lead. Ethan even used the bioluminescent flora to his advantage, placing reflective crystals that could blind enemy sensors. He improvised simple but effective traps, leveraging the natural geography of the valley and the towering crystal spires. Every decision was calculated, designed to turn Zoran Prime's beauty into a defensive advantage. As dusk fell, the first Vorak ships appeared on the horizon, their dark hulls slicing through the atmosphere. Their fleet was larger than Ethan had estimated, and even Kalara's eyes widened. "They believe us unprepared," she said softly, almost to herself. "This may work." Ethan took a deep breath. "It will. Trust the plan. And trust me." The battle began with a flash of energy as Vorak fighters entered the valley. Ethan and Kalara's forces waited patiently, hidden in ambush positions. As predicted, the raiders moved confidently, underestimating the defenders. Ethan activated the first set of traps. Energy barriers suddenly appeared, forcing enemy ships into narrow paths while reflective crystals dazzled their sensors. Several Vorak vessels collided, their momentum halted by obstacles they had not anticipated. Kalara fought alongside him, her blades slicing through attacking drones with deadly precision. She moved with grace, but her trust in Ethan's strategy allowed her to act freely, knowing he had considered every angle. Ethan spotted a squadron attempting to flank from the cliffs above. He quickly instructed Zoran snipers to use the natural terrain for cover, taking down the enemy before they could reach the city. The Vorak, expecting an easy assault, began to falter. "You are extraordinary," Kalara whispered as she deflected another attack. "I have never seen anyone think like this in battle." Ethan smiled, focusing on the next move. He coordinated with the city's energy grid, creating false power signals that made the Vorak believe their main target was elsewhere. Several raiders charged blindly into traps, falling into immobilizing energy nets and collapsing crystal tunnels. Hours passed, and the battle raged across the valley and city. Ethan's human tactics, combined with Kalara's fighting skills and the Zoran warriors' discipline, created a symphony of strategy and courage. One by one, the Vorik forces began to retreat, realizing that their expectations of an easy conquest were false. Finally, the remaining enemy ships broke formation and fled back into space, leaving the city and its defenders victorious. Cheers erupted among the Zoran warriors. Many who had doubted Ethan now looked at him with awe and respect. Kalara approached him as the last ship disappeared from view. Her eyes glowed brighter than ever, reflecting both relief and admiration. "You saved us," she said quietly. "You saved my people, and you did it without shedding unnecessary blood. That is a rare quality." Ethan shook his head, trying to appear humble. "I didn't do it alone. You and your warriors fought brilliantly. I just helped guide things a little differently." Kalara studied him closely. "Humans are unpredictable," she said slowly. "I thought I understood courage, strength, and leadership. But you show qualities even we do not always see in ourselves. You have proven your value not only to me but to my people." The Zoran elders who had observed the battle approached. One of them, a tall figure with silver markings on his armor, spoke. "Ethan of Earth, you have done what many Zoran could not. You have used your mind, your ingenuity, and your courage to defend us. From this day forward, you are recognized as an equal in skill and honor." Ethan felt a wave of pride but also a strange humility. He had never expected such recognition, especially on an alien world. He had come as a stranger, a human among warriors, and now he was celebrated as a hero. Kalara placed her hand on his shoulder, a rare gesture of warmth. "You have changed the way we see humans," she said softly. "Strength is not only physical. Bravery, intelligence, and compassion, these are your weapons, and they are formidable." That night the city celebrated. Ethan, still in his armor, walked among the warriors, shaking hands and receiving nods of respect. He had never felt so accepted anywhere. Not on Earth, not in his travels across space. Here on a distant alien world, he had earned a place among heroes. Kalara stood nearby, observing him. For centuries, she had valued strength above all else. Yet this human had shown her that other qualities were equally important. She felt a mixture of pride, admiration, and something deeper that she did not yet understand. Later, as the celebrations quieted and the stars shone above the crystal towers, Kalara and Ethan stood together on a high balcony, the twin moons reflected in their eyes, casting a soft glow. "You have done more than I expected," Kalara said, her voice calm but intense. "You are no longer just my companion, you are part of this world now." Ethan looked out at the city below, the lights shimmering like stars brought down to Earth. "I never imagined it would be like this," he said. "I came here to help you, but I think I've found more than that. I've found a purpose, and maybe even a home." Kalara studied him, her expression unreadable for a moment. Then she nodded slightly. "Perhaps humans and Zoran are not so different. You have proven that courage and intelligence can overcome what brute force cannot. That is a lesson we will not forget." Ethan smiled faintly. "I'm glad I could help. And I'll keep helping, as long as I can." Kalara's eyes softened for the first time. "You are unusual, Ethan. Few could survive, few could lead, and fewer still could earn the respect of my people. You are remarkable." The two stood in silence, watching the city breathe under the twin moons. Ethan felt a sense of belonging he had never known, a connection not only to Kalara but to an entire world. He realized that his life had changed completely in a matter of days. From a lone bachelor drifting through space to a recognized hero and trusted companion of an alien warrior. And deep inside, Kalara realized something too. Humans were unpredictable, yes, but that unpredictability came with courage, wisdom, and heart. Ethan had shown her qualities that even centuries of Zoran training could not always produce. For both of them, the future was uncertain, full of challenges and dangers yet unseen. But for the first time, they knew they could face those challenges together. The bond between them, forged through danger and trust, had become unbreakable. As the night deepened, Ethan looked up at the stars and thought of the journey ahead. He did not know what lay beyond Zoran Prime or how the universe would test him next, but he felt ready. With Kalara by his side, with the respect of her people, he could face anything. And somewhere in the quiet of the night, Kaylara wondered how a single human could have changed everything she believed about strength, courage, and the possibilities of life itself. The morning sun reflected off the crystalline spires of Venar as Ethan and Kaylara prepared for a journey beyond the city. The Vorak raiders had retreated, but Kaylara sensed the danger was not gone. Intelligence reports suggested their allies were regrouping in a neighboring system. Ethan, though weary from the trials and the recent battle, stood tall beside her. "You are sure this is necessary?" he asked, adjusting his gear. "We could stay here and fortify the city further." Kaylara shook her head. "Complacency is the enemy of survival. My people depend on strength and vigilance, and now with you by my side we can act faster, strike smarter." Ethan took a deep breath. "Then let's do it, together." The shuttle lifted off from the crystalline platform, the city shrinking below them. The stars stretched out in all directions, familiar yet alien. Ethan marveled at how far he had come. Not long ago he had been a lone human drifting through space, unsure of his place. Now he was bound to Kaylara, an alien warrior of unmatched skill, and recognized as a hero by her people. Their destination was the shattered moon, a barren satellite that had been turned into a forward base by the Vorak. It was heavily defended, but Kaylara's strategy, combined with Ethan's human ingenuity, would give them an advantage. Upon arrival, they approached stealthily, cloaking their shuttle to avoid detection. Ethan studied the layout through the holographic display. "If we land here," he said, pointing to a ridge overlooking the base, "we can disable their shields and create a diversion. You lead the ground assault, I'll handle the sabotage from here." Kaylara regarded him with a mixture of respect and surprise. "You are audacious," she said. "Most Zoran would rush in blindly, but this could work." Ethan smiled faintly. "Brains first, brute force second." The plan unfolded like a precise dance. Ethan infiltrated the base using narrow maintenance tunnels, avoiding patrols and surveillance. His human intuition guided him, noticing small patterns and weaknesses that even Zoran warriors might overlook. Meanwhile, Kaylara led her team of elite warriors, drawing enemy attention with coordinated strikes that masked Ethan's movements. He reached the main control hub, a complex network of panels, conduits, and alien technology. Using a combination of human problem-solving and Zoran instructions he had learned from Kaylara, he disabled the shields protecting the base. Alarms blared, but by then Kaylara's diversion had the enemy occupied. Suddenly a Vorak commander appeared, wielding a weapon that pulsed with deadly energy. Ethan froze for a moment, then remembered Kaylara's lessons. Using the environment, he ducked behind a panel and caused a conduit to short-circuit, creating sparks and smoke. The commander stumbled, giving Ethan the opening to disable the energy core. A surge of lights flickered as the base's systems failed. Kaylara's team moved in, swiftly neutralizing the remaining raiders. When the dust settled, the Vorak had been defeated decisively. Ethan emerged from the control hub, exhausted but triumphant. Kaylara approached him, her armor scratched and scorched from battle. Yet her posture radiated strength and confidence. "You did it," she said simply. "Your mind saved this mission. Again." Ethan shook his head, feeling both pride and humility. "We did it. All of us. I just noticed a few things." Kaylara's eyes softened. "Humans are capable of remarkable insight. I have underestimated your species for too long. You have proven that courage, intelligence, and compassion are as powerful as any weapon." Returning to Venar, they were greeted as heroes. The elders, warriors, and citizens gathered to honor their bravery. Ethan, once an outsider, now stood among them as a symbol of hope and partnership between human and Zoran. The city resonated with celebration, music, and luminous displays that lit the night sky. Kaylara led Ethan to a ceremonial hall adorned with symbols of Zoran heritage. "Today," she announced, "we celebrate not just our victory but the bond that has formed between our worlds. Ethan, you are recognized as my equal, my companion, and my partner in all things." Ethan felt a mix of pride, humility, and awe. The words were more than ceremonial. They were sincere, acknowledging the journey he had taken and the trust he had earned. Later, Kaylara guided him to a quiet balcony overlooking the city. The twin moons cast silver light over the spires, creating a serene reflection on the crystal surfaces. For a moment, there was silence between them, a shared understanding of everything they had faced together. "You have changed everything for me," Kaylara said softly. her violet eyes shimmering in the moonlight. I thought I knew strength, courage, and leadership. But you have shown me a new way, one that combines mind, heart, and will. I respect you, Ethan, more than any warrior I have known. Ethan's chest tightened. Kalara, I've only ever tried to do what was right, to protect your people, to survive the challenges, and to honor your trust. But hearing you say that, it means more than I can express. For the first time, Kalara stepped closer, her hand brushing his. It was a simple gesture, yet it conveyed trust, warmth, and something deeper than words could capture. Ethan felt a connection that went beyond duty or honor, something that was personal, mutual, and profound. You are part of this world now, Kalara said. Not just as my companion, but as someone who has earned a place in the hearts of my people. I cannot imagine facing the future without you. Ethan swallowed, realizing that his journey from a lone human pilot to an honored hero of an alien world had culminated in this moment. I'm not going anywhere, he said firmly. I'll stand by you, Kalara, through every challenge, every battle, every unknown. Together. Kalara's lips curved into a rare, soft smile. Then it is settled, she said. From this day forward, you are more than a human in my world. You are my partner, my equal, and my husband in spirit, if not by ceremony yet. Ethan laughed softly, a sound of relief and joy. I guess yesterday I was a bachelor, and today I am something much more extraordinary. The two watched the city below, the lights flickering like stars brought to earth. The twin moons reflected the promise of new beginnings, of partnerships forged through trials, and of trust earned through courage. Ethan felt a sense of peace he had never known, a belonging that went beyond bloodlines or planets, a true connection to another being, and through her, to an entire world. Kalara finally spoke again. There will be challenges ahead, threats we cannot yet see, trials we cannot yet imagine. But with your mind and my strength, I believe we can face anything, Ethan nodded. Then we face them together. No turning back. Kalara's gaze softened and she placed a firm hand on his shoulder. Together, she agreed. That night, the city of Venar glowed with light and celebration, but for Ethan and Kalara, the quiet balcony above the spires felt like the true center of their world. The trials, the battles, and the dangers had forged a bond unbreakable by time or conflict. Ethan realized that life had changed in ways he could never have imagined. From a solitary human drifting through the stars, he had become a warrior, a strategist, a hero, and most importantly, a partner to Kalara, the fierce alien warrior who had, in some ways, tamed his heart and mind as much as he had protected hers. Kalara, too, reflected on the transformation. She had thought humans were fragile, unpredictable, and limited, yet Ethan had proven that courage, intellect, and loyalty could surpass even the most disciplined warriors of her kind. He had shown her a new definition of strength, one that combined mind, heart, and resilience in ways she had never anticipated. The future awaited them, unknown, full of danger, adventure, and possibility. But for the first time, both of them knew they would face it not alone but together, bound by trust, respect, and something deeper than words. They were ready for whatever the galaxy could throw at them. And as the twin moons of Zoran Prime shone brightly over the city of Venar, Ethan and Kalara stood side by side, not as human and alien, but as partners, equals, and something far stronger than either had ever known before. From that day forward, Ethan was no longer a bachelor drifting through the stars. He was a hero, a partner, and the husband of an alien warrior. Together, they would face the universe, and nothing could stand in their way.